This video we're going to draw the multi-view of the angle stop. We begin with our construction line, so make sure you're on construction line layer. We're going to our construction line command. We're going to begin with the horizontal. The location will be the origin, 0, 0 for this particular line. And again, if you need to, zoom out so you can see the results. I'm going to press enter to end the command. Go back to my construction line layer. Make sure that the command is active. We're going to go to vertical this time and choose 0, 0 again and press enter. At this time we're going to do a series of offsets to prepare the front view. I'm going to look at all dimensions that represent the width in the front view. So going to my offset command, I want to start with the total distance of 4 units. So 4, and press enter. I click my line and I click to the right. Okay. And if you need to, zoom in to make sure you're able to see your lines. Next, I have a distance here of 0.60. So go into my offset command again, 0.60. I click this line, I click to the right. My next dimension, I have here a distance of 1.8. So offset again, 1.80. I click this line and I click to the left. I have another measurement of a 0.40 here at this location. So offset 0.40, press enter, click this line, click to the left. I have right beside the 0.40 a distance of 1 inch in between. So offset again, 1. I click my latest line and I click over to the left. Some other measurements that I have is a distance of 1.20. So offset again, 1.20. I click this line, I click to the left. And from this line, I'm going to do another distance of 1.60. So offset again, 1.60. I'll click the latest line and click over to the left. That concludes all of our width dimensions. Now I want to establish my heights. So I click on offset. My first height is this 0.40 here at the bottom. So I type in 0.40, press enter. I click my line and I click in the upwards direction. Next, I have another height of 0.80. Offset, type 0.80, press enter. I click the line, I click in the upwards direction. After the 0.80, I have another height of 0.50 right here. So offset, 0.50. I click this line, I click in the upwards direction. I keep my 0.50 to continue the last offset, which is from here up, and that should identify my total height. Over here, I have another measurement of a 0.60 and a 0.80. So over here, we go to offset again, 0.60. Click this line, I click in the upwards direction. I am going to do a 0.80 from this line up. So I click the offset, 0.80. I'm using this line and I'm going up. At this time I've done all the heights that are required to make my front view. I'm going to switch it over to my object line layer and begin building my picture. In this image we'll be drawing pretty much the dark shaded areas of the front view here. So begin with the line command, I'm going to start at the top corner and go in a downwards direction. Come over and go straight back up, and I'm going to close this off. This will be the first rectangle that's located right here. This rectangle is divided into certain parts though. You see that there's a little rectangle that's behind it, and there's another shape down here below it. So using my hidden line, I'm going to go to my line command and draw those two lines. So starting with the 60 height, going across like that. And then my 80 height. And again, this is where sometimes your memory has to come into play to understand which line is which. If you have a difficult time understanding these lines, my suggestion is to use your utilities button and to get your measurements that way. So on my screen, I'm going to go to my show panels and get my utilities back. You may already have it in your display. So I'll click my measurement button and go from this point up to determine what height do I have. So at this location, I'm at 0.70. So I know it's the next line I got to draw my red line. So from here, I go across, and that would represent my two hidden surfaces behind this wall. Alright, going back to my object line, I'll continue here at the bottom, going all the way across to the end. I'm going to go up to my first notch. This will prepare my first box right here. I'm going to press enter to end the command. Go back to my line feature again. For my second box, it begins here. So coming around, I close that part of the shape. Remember, use your measurement button to determine if you're on the wrong line or not. So again, between these two boxes, it should be 1 unit. So using the measurement button, I go from one corner to the other, here to here, and you can see the distance at 1 unit. That lets me know I'm right on point with the lines. I'm going back to my line command again and continue going up to my next distance. Now notice this mark here. Remember, if you forget, just look at your image to see if there's any lines on that construction line. So I'm trying to go the 80 distance, which is located right here. But look, my red line is on this line. So I know this is not it because the red line represents my 0.60 over there. So I'm going to go to the next notch. Now I'm going to go over to do my 120. Next would be to go up 50 units. Then I'm going to travel over another 160. And then up again. And then I'm going to close it off right here. So that creates pretty much the back wall with 3 steps here. I need to draw one more line from here to close off that section. And that ultimately completes the front face of this object. Again, to look, I have my 2 squares identified along with the rectangle in the middle. They're right there. I have the whole back wall back here, which is all of this. And I have my long rectangle that's identified, plus my 2 sections behind it identified. Now comes our right side view. I'm going to go to my offset command. I'm going to identify my distance as 2 units and press enter. Clicking this line, I'm clicking over to the right to begin my right side view. Now, looking at the measurements, I'm going to identify all the depths. So right here, I have a total depth of 220. So going to my offset command, 2.20, press enter, click this line, click over to the right. I have another depth, 60. So again, going to offset, 0.60, clicking this line, clicking over to the left. I have another depth measurement of 1 unit right here. Going to offset, 1, clicking this line and clicking to the right. I have 2 more, a .50 and a .70. So I go back to my offset command, type in .50, clicking this line, clicking over to the right, and that identifies that. From this line, I'm going to go another 70. So going to the command, I type in .70, clicking this line now, going over to the right to identify that. At this time, we have done all the depths, and at this time, we can go ahead and use our object line to finish it on up. So we'll go to our object line command, and the first thing I want to do is build the L shape that's found right here on the right side view. So starting with that, going here, and I'm going to go in an upwards direction to the 80 mark, .80. So I come across for the 60, and I'm coming down to this location, back across, and then down again. I'll press enter to end that command, and so therefore I have here my shape. Next comes the steps that are prepared right here, and that's just as simple as going straight up on this end. I want to go pretty much to this location. No, this location. Then come in a downwards direction to this first line, come all the way across, back up, over, and then back down, and press enter. Again, feeling a little hesitant on what I just did, going back to my measurement command, I'm going to check out to make sure I did my .50 here, which it shows the distance of .50. My next distance from here to here should be a distance of .70, which it is. So therefore, I've done that correctly. There is a line that is found at this location. So starting with the line again, I'm going to go in a downwards direction to close that off. To make the 2 separate steps here, I have a box here and a box there. I'm going to divide it up with the line at this location here to make those 2 boxes. Finally, we have a space that is visible, but it only requires just a little bit of an opening. And so right here, we're going to go up to this first notch. The reason why is because when you look over, you can see the red line on that same level. I'm going to go across the same distance as the top and come down, just like that. I stopped it here because you cannot see the object, the actual hole, through the right side view because this section here kind of blocks it. So with it being stopped there, I want to switch it to my hidden line so that I can now draw a line downward to finish out the rest of the hole that cannot be seen. Now another hole that cannot be seen is this slot right here that's 1 inch in. So using my line command again, I'm going to go here with another line in a downwards direction to represent that slot that cannot be seen. Okay. There's one more line that I need to identify, and that's on this back side that we cannot see. Back here, there is a straight line that goes down to kind of close off that backside surface. So using the line command again, I'm going to go here and go in a straight downward direction to prepare the hidden line for that section there. Alright, that concludes our right side view. To make our top, we're going to our construction line layer. We're going to the construction line command. We're going to prepare a 45-degree angle. So we choose the angle option, type in 45, press enter. We will be clicking the top right corner of the front view and pressing enter. Next, going back to our construction line command again, choosing the horizontal option. I'm going to walk up the 45-degree line, and at every intersection that the right side view hits the miter line, I'm going to create horizontal lines to connect it. So that lets me know that this area here will be for where our view is going to be located. Switching back to our object line layer, I go to my line command and I'll begin building my shape. Starting with the overall shape, I'm going to start from the back side, go all the way across to the end, come forward to this front. I'm going to go to my first section. I'm going to go backwards 1 unit in. I'm going across to this section, back down again, here, and I'm going all the way back to this point. Next, crossing back over, going in a downwards direction, and back to the origin. I'll press enter to end the command. So ultimately, that is the overall shape from the top view. I need to add some more object lines. One in this area going across. I'll press enter. I need to prepare the hole that's located here. So I'll go to my line command. There's one line that goes across here that's visible to square off the box here. Next is the 70. Again, this could be at this location here. I'll press enter. And once again, the reason why I chose this line is because this line falls under that. And so therefore I know it's a possibility that there's no visible line located there. Underneath my object is directly underneath this part. So going back to the proceeding of lines, the solid lines override the hidden ones. So therefore, this underneath part I cannot identify with the solid lines already there. Next comes the steps. So we go to our line command. My first step should be located at this location here. My second one should be at this line here. Therefore, that concludes our multi-view of this image. Now, one thing we can do is fix our hidden lines. Right now, the scale for the hidden lines are too large for us to see, so we're going to go to LTS scale. I'm going to change the number to 1 and press enter, and as you can see, my hidden lines are now identified in the picture. However, I can go back to the command again, LTS scale, and put in 0.50, and that would give us a little bit more dashes in our hidden lines. Again, this concludes our image